The collapse has literally begun, and God is sending many signs every day, confirming the timeline we have entered. Folks, the entire world saw what happened on live television between President Trump and President Zelensky, but only a few have noticed the significance and true meaning of this heated debate, and how it could initiate the tribulation period mentioned in the Bible. Before I connect the dots between this meeting and the upcoming days, and reveal to you what the Bible says about it, let me show you another clip, an event that is once again strange, odd, and unprecedented in history. If you are wondering what this scary creature is, let me tell you, this is an anglerfish, also known as the devilfish, which was spotted for the first time ever in shallow waters near Tenerife, Spain. This fish has a terrifying appearance, and many people are considering it a bad omen of impending doom, leaving both scientists and spiritually alert individuals stunned and deeply concerned. And do you know what's even more unsettling? This creature, rarely seen alive, let alone near the surface, dwells in the abyss, in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean, yet now, it has risen to the light, almost as if something is forcing the creatures of the deep to come up. Folks, I hope you are paying attention because this is no ordinary event, but rather a sign, a warning, something that should not be here is here. Just like the events unfolding across the world where things that should not be happening are happening and unfolding rapidly before our very eyes. Now, let me talk about the recent big move of Donald Trump, as we all know that he is not just fulfilling biblical prophecies but is himself playing a crucial role in escalating the divine timeline of the end times. And I personally believe that whatever he is doing, it is God who is orchestrating his hands. Did you notice the tension? Did you notice the specific words spoken? Because what unfolded on live television was not just a political dispute but a prophetic moment, a signal, a foreshadowing, where Trump's stance, his choice of words, and even the way he looked at Zelensky made it seem as if two forces were clashing right before our eyes, with one standing firm while the other tried to justify actions that have led the world into chaos. Yet, the masses only saw it as another political argument, missing the spiritual significance of that encounter. Folks, this was not just about Ukraine or war strategies but something far greater, because within that conversation, within that moment of confrontation, the foundation was being set for something even bigger to unfold. Something that connects directly to prophecy. Do you remember what the Bible says about the kings of the earth rising against each other, about the wars and rumors of wars, about the deception that would take place before the Great Tribulation begins? Look around, it's happening. The pieces are falling into place exactly as written, and yet the majority remain blind to it. But let's not stop there, because in the same week that this confrontation happened, something else took place. And I'm talking about the hospitalization of Pope Francis and the discussions surrounding the last Pope prophecy. The increase in talks about the Third Temple prophecy and the signs through the creatures on earth. Whether it's the stag or these mysterious fish that the world has never seen before, the signs are clear, yet despite all of this, the world remains blind. The warnings have been given, the alarms have been sounded, and still, the masses walk as if nothing is happening. But let me tell you something. When God speaks, he does not speak in whispers but through events, through nature, through world leaders, and through the very fabric of creation itself. And if you are still questioning whether we are at the doorstep of the final hour, let me make it plain to you. Everything is converging toward one final day on earth. The hospitalization of Pope Francis is not a random event, as the world saw it as just another moment of frailty for an aging leader, but spiritually, this is far greater, for the prophecy of the last pope is unfolding before our eyes. Do you think it's a coincidence that discussions about the final pope have surged just as we see the rise of a global religious movement pushing for unification under a one-world system? Or do you think it's by chance that this is happening at the same time we are hearing more about the construction of the Third Temple in Jerusalem? Folks, the final setup is taking place, the stage is being set, and the world is being prepared for the arrival of the Antichrist, and they don't even see it. And let me ask you this, how is it that all of a sudden, nature itself is responding to this timeline? And how is it that creatures which were hidden for centuries are now emerging into the open? The stag is appearing in prophetic moments, the anglerfish, the devilfish, is rising from the deep for the first time in history, creatures are washing ashore, and the sky is changing in ways we've never seen before. As the earth itself is testifying that we are at the end. Didn't the Bible tell us this would happen, that in the last days, there would be signs in the heavens and on the earth, that the sun would darken, the moon would turn to blood, and strange things would appear? Folks, this is not a coincidence. This is fulfillment. And do you really think it's an accident that all of this is happening while war is looming over the Middle East? Or do you think it's random that tensions between Israel and its enemies are escalating at a rate we have never seen before? The Bible tells us that in the final days, all nations will turn against Israel and that Jerusalem will become a burdensome stone for the world. And what are we seeing right now? Leaders, governments, and nations, one by one, are shifting their stance against Israel, as even America, once Israel's strongest ally, is showing signs of division. And when that final betrayal happens, when Israel is left alone, that is when we will see the greatest deception unfold before our eyes. And that is when the Antichrist will step in, offering a false peace, a solution that the world will embrace. You see, the collapse is not just financial, nor is it just political, nor just about nature. Rather, the collapse is total, as the entire world system is being broken down to make way for something new, a one-world system that has been planned for decades, now coming into its final form. And do you know what this means? It means we are entering the days when people will be forced to make a choice between God and the beast system. Folks, this is not a drill. This is happening right now. God is not telling us these things to scare us, but so that we are ready, because while the world will be thrown into chaos, while nations will tremble, and while people will cry out in confusion, God's people will stand firm, because we were warned, we were prepared, and we were given the truth.